All right, y'all, welcome back. We're going to continue on those red flags since I did not know that last video was going to last that long. But like and subscribe to my channel. But let's get like right into the rest of these red flags. I'm not trying to hold y'all on these red flags, but it be a lot of them and we be missing them because we want to miss them because we don't want to acknowledge the truth. So after the wedding band thing, our relationship, we continue. So of course, when he came back, I was still in a cast and all of that. And I had to beg him to like take me to the grocery store to help me get groceries because he always claimed to be that, like, he claimed that he didn't have time to like help me, that like he was so busy helping his grandma, he was so busy working. And this is another thing as to how I got manipulated and stayed so long. Like until now, I have worked 3 jobs I worked 3 jobs at one time. Meaning I ain't really have that much time for a man. And he, for what, maybe the first year of our relationship, worked 2 jobs as far as I knew. I thought he worked 2 jobs the whole 5 years. I didn't find out that he didn't work one of the jobs until I found out everything. So the times that I thought he was working his other job, which is why I was okay with us not spending as much time together, he really wasn't working at all. So that's also how it just rolled out and kind of like just blew over my head because he always acted like he was working. Like he acted like he was working. So let's see. Let me see. The ends that these type of people will go to lie and to cover up their story and to play all these different characters in their life, there's like no end. There's no limit to what they will do to try to convince you of their lie. This man brought his baby to me and my mom, I feel like, and my sister, like, so I could meet the baby when the baby was a baby. Like, he brought this woman's baby to meet me. She, I'm sure, didn't know that her baby was being brought to some other female. But yeah, to prove that he, had control of that he was going to be a good father, to show that, me and him and the baby were going to like have our little family and we're going to do little outings to try to convince me that, hey, like what I told you was going to happen while she was pregnant is going to come to pass. Another setup, because that's the last time I saw the baby. And by the time we broke up, the baby was 4. Or going on 4-1, something. But that's the last time I actually saw the physical baby. That's the last time the man even had a car seat in his car. This is how he hid everything because he never had no baby stuff. So the way that he's creating his baby mama to be this evil person, this person that he doesn't even communicate with, this person that he only talks to through his mom, this person that I would ask, like, how is she doing? Because I'm concerned, because if I was a woman who just had a child, I want my baby's daddy to be there, like, for the child. So I would always ask, like, how is she doing? Have you seen her? Are you helping? Are you like buying food? Are you, what I'm saying? Because this was his first child. It really was his first child. And honestly, because he is mentally ill, didn't know how to handle a life change of that such. So I was his life. I was the only reason that he was able to not lose it during those times. So I want you to know that these men or women, they use you because they need you, because what you have inside of you is what's holding them up. They are like empty shells with no feelings and no personality. So they kind of like suck the life out of you, but you don't realize that the life is being sucked out of you because you're living in it. They don't know who they are. They don't have who they are because whenever they chose this way of life, something traumatic probably happened to them when they were young. Or they had a parent that was narcissistic or abusive, or they went through some situation that was very extremely painful or traumatic, and they didn't know how to handle it emotionally. So they chose to like basically step out of that body and live another life that they would never have to face or feel emotion. So some of them are incapable of feeling emotion because they haven't allowed themselves to feel emotion since that traumatic experience that they had. So they just don't have it. They don't have what us normal empathetic people have. They don't feel for people how we would feel for people. It's just like everyone is like either all bad or all good. Everyone is like in this game. Like every person in their life, their friends, their gym people, their parents are just like chess pieces that they don't allow themselves to love or feel for because they're afraid. They're afraid of allowing themselves to feel because it hurts. They're afraid to face whatever it is that was traumatic that happened to them because it's too painful for them. So they need people to hold them up in life and motivate them to do normal things in life and carry them through life and cover up all their different stories in life because they aren't able to face and live with themselves. When you really research and look into this, it is a sad, sad way of living to not be able to feel and to not know real love because you don't allow yourself to be loved, so you don't know how to really love another person. It's very sad, but it's not sad to the point that you sacrifice yourself for somebody else's choice not to deal with their trauma. Because we all have some sort of trauma. Some people choose to heal from it. Some people choose to live destructive lives and ruin people because they feel that their life has been ruined by some person. Dog eat dog, and don't be eaten. Don't be the dog either, but don't be eaten. So that was another red flag that I missed. Well, all right. Yeah, we picking up. So another thing that happened during the course of the relationship was he didn't have a social media. Which is weird in this time because everybody has a social media. But I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, oh, it's probably good that he don't have a social media because then that means that he's not distracted like all the rest of us are. So he ended up creating a social media and he joined it because I was kind of on it and we were both on this whole weight loss thing together. So he joined social media. So probably about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years of the relationship, we both had a social media and he would post like normal. He had his, couple thousand friends or whatever. I had my thousands of friends and we posted and, posted some. I posted maybe 1 or 2 pictures, but not a lot because he always was like, he didn't want pictures to be posted. Like he wanted us to have like a private relationship until we were engaged. And that's another sign. Like it's okay for your relationship to be private to a certain extent. But if you feel like you can't share your love and you can't actually post the guy or the person that you're dating on social media, then that's probably a red flag. Like they probably are trying to hide another life from you. And you don't want to believe that, but trust me, like I would rather post somebody and find out early than to waste 5 years of my time with somebody who's basically been hiding in plain sight. Like when we went to the gym together, everybody knew like we was together. Like we worked out together. That was the homie. Like I'm sure they knew we were dating. Like he would bring me around his friends and his gym people or whatever, and I would go over to his jobs. Mind you, in this time of 5 years, he probably had 4 or 5 different jobs. Now, I'm convinced that my second narcissist had some sociopathic tendencies and psychopathic tendencies, because the intensity and the manipulation that was done is definitely of someone who has some other type of disorder at the same time. The ability to keep all these different lives separate and to not allow me to catch them in it is impeccable. Like, you get the award for being the best con artist in the Charlotte. All these women and stuff that I'm going to tell you about later that he was with, we all lived in Charlotte. We all live right here. This wasn't like, oh, you got somebody in another state, you got one over here, you got one over there. Like, no. So the thing about psychopaths and sociopaths, they get bored really fast. Like, they can't stay at one job. They are always, always all over the place. They can't even hardly stay in one place. Like, he couldn't spend a lot of time with me at one time. It's like he always was on the go. And I would ask him, I was like, are you a drug dealer or something? Because I done dealt with drug dealers before. I know about the fast life. But he always said no. And I was like, why you can't just sit down? Like, why you can't just relax? He's like, yo, I'm always trying to get it. Like, I'm a hustler. Like, I'm from New York. Like, this is just how we work. No, you're sick. But whatever you want to call it, is what you want to call it. But yeah, so pay attention to people who can't hold consistent jobs, because at a certain age, you should have certain things in your life. Like, if you're a 30-year-old woman and you're dating a 40-year-old man, he should have more than you. Maybe not more money, but he should have more assets. He should have a little bit more stability. Like, the age of the person should match their fruit. Their fruit meaning their maturity, their credit score, their financial stability, their career or lack thereof. You shouldn't still be trying to figure out what you want to be in life when you're 40. Not when you're trying to date someone who has a career. That's a red flag, because what has happened, what's going on that you haven't been able to get it right yet, and you're like 8 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta stop and look now. You gotta stop and pay attention to this person's life and where they are in life, and kind of like, how did you get here? And what have you been doing in your life as a woman or as a man who is the normal person differently, that kind of got you in a different spot, or, awarded you a little bit more success? I would always ask him, like, what's your career? Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? And he would always be like, a personal trainer. But he never had the discipline to actually lose the weight to be a personal trainer. He would always say he's going to be a bodybuilder. He was saying he was going to be a bodybuilder when we met, and never had the discipline to actually get the bodybuilder body. But you said this is what you want to be, and you're portraying this on your social media, but you never got there. So that tells you right there that, something is wrong. Something isn't, like, after you spend a certain amount of time with somebody and the goals that they've told you that they had are not being met, then you have to step back and question if this person is being honest with you, if they are who they say they are, if they just faking the funk and just strolling you along for as long as you want for the ride. Don't be deceived, y'all. Another thing he did was this thing called mirroring, which means basically presenting you back to you so that you can love them. So in a narcissistic relationship, You're usually never really in love with the actual person. You're in love with the fantasy that they sold you. You're in love with the love bombing that they gave you in the beginning, the time that things seemed perfect, the time that you guys were spending day in and day out together, the time that he was buying you things, the time that he was always calling and living with you and always there. And you hold on to that because you're waiting for him to show you that side of himself again, when that is not even who he was. He just used that to yoke you in, and you're just staying waiting. He's going to be that person again. Like, I know he has it in him. Like, he was so nice in the beginning. He was so sweet. I know he loves me. He just has issues that he needs to figure out. They ain't never going to be that person because that's not who they are. That goes for a physically abusive person too. Stop holding on to the fantasy that they showed you or sold you and look at the reality of your relationship. If it's not adding up, it's not adding up. And narcissists will have everybody fooled because he met my parents multiple times. He met my family multiple times. He met my friends a couple of times. And child, just like I thought he was one of the sweetest, nicest guys in the world, and I thought we had so much in common, they thought the same thing because this man has lived his life being someone that he's actually not. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy. So I think that is all the red flags that I want to address because I can't think of any more. Just know that it was a lot of things that I missed that I should have gotten, especially with us not spending enough time together, with me asking for time over this whole time, and me still not getting the things that I was asking for, like dates. Like, I asked him to just have a weekend trip or whatever, or a staycation, and he just could not come through with that. But like I said, he always used work as an excuse, and I'm not the type of person to be trying to hold no man down or nothing. Like, if you grinding because I'm grinding, and we grinding, and we gonna have this beautiful life together one day. But obviously that was not the case. So, my sisters and my brothers, in the next video, I'm going to tell y'all what happened in February. I'm going to tell y'all what happened in February. And if you thought that it couldn't get any more wild, you better go put your seatbelt on, because we about to go for a ride. I don't know if I said seatbelt or belt, but seatbelt on, because we about to really go for a ride. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I will have a Q&A after I finish telling you guys like what happened, how I found out, or whatever. I'll have a Q&A, and then we'll get to a video about healing. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.